Okay, crap. Where did my camera go? What the heck? What? Oh, hi. Okay, that was weird. I don't know what that was about. I'm trying not to mess with anything, but interesting. Camera just was randomly off. I'm not used to that. Okay, let's see. Alright, we're trying some new things tonight. My typical music that I like to play on this stream is I'm getting notices from YouTube that I can't like play it, and then I guess I can't monetize the stream if I play that music, which I find weird because this artist has come out and said that you can use that sort of music for any sort of stream. So I don't know why exactly YouTube is telling me that, but I'm just gonna hold off on it for now. I'm actually gonna try to reach out to them to see what I can do about it, but we're trying something different. This is just some random DMCA free music that I pulled up, and so we're gonna try something out different tonight. It's not gonna be a long stream. I got some other things I gotta do tonight. I think I talked about before, like I'm kind of in the middle of like a Valorant type thing with some people, so I gotta go and do that after this. But I want to talk about just a few things on this stream, and then I want you guys to go back, and if you're with your family, which I think you should be, go spend time with your family. If not, be with your friends or whoever you want to be with, as should be hopefully a long weekend for you guys. And don't be stressing about Bulls basketball too much as during this time during the holidays. So this game, obviously, not really much I'm going to be talking about too much. Livian looked good. And obviously he came back from a foot thing that he had going on, so he looked pretty good. But as I've been saying, like, I'm not focusing really on these three players too much anymore. I want to focus more on the players that I think could be sticking around for quite a while, and I want to evaluate them more to see what we should probably be doing them moving forward. And I thought Kobe played pretty well. I think defensively he did not play very good this game. There's some you could tell that teams, as much as we've talked about Kobe improving defensively, you can still tell that teams are like going at him defensively. So it's gonna be an interesting thing to look at as we move forward, because I don't know how much that teams are like they're actively trying to like seek him out constantly on pick and roll screens, or if this is just a whole thing of that the Bulls defense still just kind of sucks, and maybe he doesn't get picked out so much. But like, if the better defensive lineups out there, I feel like they still go after Kobe, which is a little bit concerning. But I have faith he might turn it around here. We saw Julian Phillips actually get some play tonight. We'll talk about that really quickly, and talk about a few things with Patrick, because as we always do on this channel, we have to talk about things with Patrick Williams, as we're constantly watching him with the very, very, very close eye. Recap: they still stink. Yes, they do, and I think I kind of made that clear that this team's just gonna stink for the rest of the season. So hey, we're back. Team stinks. They lost. There are a couple things that I will say this though, when it comes to just like the overall winning aspect of a game. Which again, I'm not trying to look into this too much, but the game plan defensively tonight, I did not understand. Now, was it players like, or I should say this, like players? Yeah, players had some breakdowns defensively that did not look very good tonight. I'm more than willing to talk about that. Okay. But there were also times tonight that I'm scratching my head where it seems like Bulls defenders are like running out to guys and trying to run them off the 3-point line, when these are guys that you should be asking to shoot the ball. Okay, the Toronto Raptors are not that good of a shooting team. They just suck at shooting. They just straight up suck. But yet the Bulls were basically like letting them get right into the paint in this game, and I'm just questioning like, what was the game plan tonight then? And look, Billy Donovan, if we bring in a different coach, it's not going to solve all the issues with this team, but it's getting to the point now with Billy that I am really starting to question what's happening in that locker room. And this is now the like 7th game in a row where the Bulls got off to a really slow start. And you would think that a coach would find a way to address this issue. at this point in time, but we haven't had that yet, and it's very concerning. So it's very interesting just to kind of think about as we kind of move forward into the season, because I don't know what's going to happen. There's some reports by The Athletic that Billy's on the hot seat. I don't know how much I trust that, but if this Bulls team is truly going to be looking to go into a new direction, then I got to see Billy. Billy, to me, has to get out of here, at least in my opinion. I'm going to reset my camera because I see I'm lagging just a little bit, so give me 1 sec. Test. Okay, we're looking a little bit better. So that was just like, in terms of just the overall game, like that's what I was noticing a few things. So yeah, at least Zach's stock went up a bit. Yeah, so Zach LaVine's stock, obviously, he played pretty well this game. But I feel like, even when he was sort of struggling in a sense, like this is kind of what you can expect from Zach. And he can obviously go off for a game like this. I mean, 16 and 23 is very good. And yeah, we do want his stock to go up, but I think a team that would be looking interested in him would kind of understand that this is what you're probably going to get from Zach. He can do this on pretty much any given night. So I was pretty happy with his performance in this one. As you can see, his shot chart's pretty good overall. And we'll see what happens moving forward with them. There are some rumors kind of going out right now about like the Heat don't want him or whatever. Like, I just want to put this out there because I know we're gonna be talking about trades again tonight. Like, when it comes to any sort of like Bulls player that like, or specifically like with Zach's trade value, where it's like, oh, these teams have no interest in Zach right now, and I'm like, look, it's not surprising because there's not a lot of players that can be traded at the moment. Now, once December 15th hits, more players can be traded, but I'm just, the way I look at things, it's too early right now to be like thinking, oh, we should be making a big move at the moment. There are definitely teams that I look at down here and I'm like, okay, there's at some point they're gonna get desperate and they're gonna want to make a move because they don't want to continue to be kind of stuck in the mud at where they are. I know Miami flipped their script. Miami was 1-4 to start the season, and then they flipped their script. So this is a big shift by them. But could Miami go back down, right? And I understand that there's this whole thing going around like, oh, well, Zach doesn't fit in the Heat culture or whatever. I disagree with that statement completely. I felt like the Heat brought in a ton of players that don't exactly fit their culture, but then they turn them into their culture. But even the Toronto Raptors, for example, I feel like because we played them tonight, they could be a team that could be in on Zach because Masai Ujiri is never going to rebuild. He never will. And if they want to like cash in on some of the assets that they do have right now, then I think they'd be willing to go after him. I think people have already talked about Brooklyn before, but that had to come in like a separate sort of trade type deal. And then of course this team's always going to be looking for Zach. I know that right now they're saying like, no, we're not trying to get Zach at the moment, but I'm telling you, the Lakers want Zach. They just don't have a good offer. They need to figure out something else to offer the Bulls. So yeah, Zach obviously playing well only helps. So that's good. And then if the Bulls lose, I also think that's good because then AK has to basically blow up the team if the Bulls suck so bad. And right now the Bulls are 5-12 after tonight. So he's not really have a choice, honestly. So we're getting to that point where he basically just has to blow it up. And I'm here for it. What's going on, y'all? Same old BS? Yep, basically same old BS. I like the chemistry off the court based on the BTS scenes, but man, I mean, I think that I genuinely believe that these guys like each other. Like, there's like not an issue whatsoever when it comes to like friendship and team bonding when it doesn't come to basketball off the court. But this team clearly is not very well put together, one, and two, the on-court chemistry along with the potential coach chemistry just isn't there. And so this team needs to get on out of here. But we'll see. We'll see what happens soon. Tomorrow's trash trade him for free. Obviously don't trade him for free, but I would like to trade him. I hate the feeling we're losing as a positive. Sadly, that's the only way we'll see change within this team. I also don't like saying that. Like I don't like saying like I want this team to lose out. But yeah, I agree with you. It sucks that it's like, oh hey, they lost again. Well, we might be on our way to some change. But I honestly think you're right. It's the only thing that kind of gives us hope of like, well, maybe there's actually going to be some change tonight, or sorry, change on the way if this team continues to just suck. And they have continued to suck, and we're starting to get closer to, you know, some players being available via trade. I think some change might be on the horizon. It doesn't mean that it's going to be all pretty and roses after the change happens, but at least it's a change. And I think a lot of us just want a change, right? So I don't want to be that guy, but I think a lot of Bulls fans just kind of want the team just to lose anyway, so I'm not the only one. Billy Rich super trash too. I would have to say, bro, I'm not happy with Billy whatsoever. And look, I think I've given Billy a lot of slack with this team. Like, this team shouldn't be one this bad, even though that they are bad. But like, you could be losing, like, if Billy Donovan, like, let's just say it's like, let's say the Bulls have the same record, but like they're getting off to pretty okay starts and they just happen to lose in crunch time, then Billy really wouldn't be getting as much heat as he currently is right now. It's the fact that the Bulls are getting off to these ridiculously slow starts, and we've addressed it. He's talked about it in the media. The players have addressed it, etc., etc., etc. And nothing has changed. The Bulls are down 15 points at basically in the first half of every single game in the past 7 games. So it's like, what's happening? And if you're a coach, you would think the coach would do something, make some sort of adjustment to help things get a little bit going in the early going of a game. But it doesn't seem like they want to do. He doesn't want to do anything. I understand he put Alex Caruso in the starting lineup, and sure, we can talk about that being an adjustment, but there's more to it than just like replacing a guy in the starting lineup, and it's gotten so bad that I'm like, is our coach just not gonna coach? Like, so I'm not gonna be like completely bashing Billy, but his criticism right now I think is pretty justified, because this team that is supposed to be winning, remind you, right? They're not good. They're not a good team, but they're supposed to be winning. They're down 15 every single first half. They're always down 15. They are always down at the beginning of a game. So, coach, I'm looking for you to make some sort of change here, and I don't know what's happening. So, yeah, it's truly not very good to see, and it's not a good overall performance by anybody. Top pick in a week, top end draft, our luck, man. Oh, don't worry. The Bulls are not going to get a top 5 pick. You know how this goes, Noel, right? The Bulls are going to be getting the 7th overall pick in a not very good draft. And the whole thing about this is that you sucked enough so that you sold off some pieces. So it's one good step in the right direction, but then you don't get a good pick overall either. It's just like, even though it is not that good of a draft, like if you get a top pick, it's probably not going to be the best anyway, right? But the Bulls are not going to get a top pick. We know how this goes. It happens all the time. It's just going to be even more rotten luck. So, I mean, here's what I will say. If there is a draft for the Bulls to get screwed over in the draft lottery with having a bad record, it's probably this draft, right? You don't want the Bulls in the 2025 draft, if they still suck, to get a bad lottery luck and fall out of the top 4, right? You want them to get the top 3 pick in 2025, not really in 2024. Ideally, you have 2 top 3 picks in 2024 and 2025, but you know how this goes. It's not very possible. So I think that's going to be something that the Bulls are just going to get screwed over. It's just going to happen, but you know, it is what it is. Excuse me. But yeah, just some simple stuff. I don't know what the game plan was defensively. Obviously there are some breakdowns, and my god, bro, I've been there are some people talking about this on Twitter, and let me just pull this up because I find it so funny how this is such a big back and forth between Bulls Nation on Twitter, because this is just the epitome of Bulls Twitter in my opinion. So this was posted by Will Gottlieb. Let's just watch this play together, okay? So it ends up being a Nikola Vucevic post up. So here he is in the post. He catches it in the post right here. He's about, what, 13 feet away from the basket? Or, no, sorry, like, more close to 15 feet away from the basket right here, okay? So, he's trying to post up Jakob Poeltl in this scenario, which, as you know on this channel, posting up, especially a center that's not named Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid, I think is a terrible idea. I don't understand why you would even think about posting up a center specifically when they are being guarded by a center, and they're not a future Hall of Famer. Okay, there's no reason to be doing this whatsoever, especially with the dude in Nikola Vucevic, who does not like his post-up numbers are so garbage. It's just something that I don't think Bulls fans will ever understand. And so this ends up being this ends up being the rest of the play here. And this is the shot. This is terrible offense, and we all know how this goes. Now, the funny part about this is that if you go over and look at all the retweets or the replies, right, some people are talking about how the problem is not Vucevic posting up. It's actually that the Bulls lack off-ball movement. I'm like, okay, you know what? You have a point that the Bulls lack off-ball movement, but let me just point this out to you. Like, this is the part where I don't think people understand. Like, the whole point of why I don't think posting a Vucevic is a good idea in the first place is because the shot blocker is standing here. So he has the ability to recover and get back to the paint anytime he wants to. You have guys already, but as Vucevic just catches the ball, just caught the ball, right? You got guys standing in the paint as we speak. So sure, you want to cut to the basket. This is going to get taken up. Caruso even tries the back cut here. He doesn't have an angle at this, and you have to leave Zach here because he's your best shooter, or else Scotty Barnes is coming over to come and rip the ball away from Vooch. So this all happens, and I'm just telling people, like, what's the game plan? You want to tell me that you need more off-ball movement? Okay, sure, but this isn't gonna do anything. The whole reason why Jokic and Embiid work in the post is because the man with the ball is the biggest threat. But you see here, Vooch isn't that big of a threat, so they just leave him one-on-one, and these guys can cut whatever, do whatever, like, or set back screens. I don't care. It's not going to do anything. The Toronto defense isn't going to really move. Therefore, the possession is just going to be bad. And why I continuously say that posting up a center that is not a future Hall of Famer, it's not a good possession. But yet, this is the Stacey King dream. Stacey King wants that literally every time down the floor, or if you're an old head, I like to call you, like, they want an 80s 90s basketball back again, and this was like a great possession in their eyes. But they're like, the only reason why this didn't work was because the lack of off-ball movement. I'm like, go ahead and move off ball. I'm telling you right now, this isn't gonna do anything. It's just a terrible decision in the first place to post up Vooch, whose numbers continuously get worse by the day in terms of the post up. And I don't understand why people will never ever figure this out. They're so hell-bent that posting up Vooch is a good idea, and it's just straight up not. It's a terrible decision to post up Vooch. So here we go, just looking at these numbers one more time. Nikola Vucevic in the post. 0.76 points per possession. That is good for the 17th percentile in the NBA. That is god-awful, and I just don't ever understand why people will never get that in their head. It's not a good idea. Alright, I was thinking of a trade. Let me know what you think. Yeah, send it in, Noel, if you want to put it, or wait, did you type it? Oh, you did type it. Okay, one sec. We were down by 7, then he put DeMar back in. We got destroyed. We take it. Who knows? What is DeMar plus minus? It's not good. I can tell you that. Zubac plus PG Tucker for Vooch, Javon Carter, and Torrey Craig. Let's go to the NBA trade machine right now. Let's just start this back up. Like I said, not that long of a stream. I have a Valorant thing I need to get to after this, so we're not going to be here for that long. But we can always talk trades during this little bit of time. So this is your idea. Javon Carter. Torrey Craig. Who'd you say it was? PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker in return. Okay. So let's see financials. So this barely doesn't work for the Clippers, but we won't talk about that. So it basically would work. Actually, hold on. Wait, what? Don't worry about this. This part doesn't matter right here. This doesn't matter. This part, 500. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me just. So let's just take somebody random here. You know, Clippers be willing to trade Josh Primo, even though I would not want Josh Primo here on the Bulls. But okay, yeah. See, now this would work now financially. So this is your idea. Huh. So let's see. If I'm the Bulls, I think I could probably flip Zubac into something, and then you can probably also trade PJ Tucker into something. It's not gonna be a lot, but we already know that Vooch isn't a lot anyway. So if it was just Zubac and Tucker for Vooch, obviously I'd do it. I think that would help the Bulls, not for the now, but just for in general value. I guess my bigger question is more about Torrey Craig and Javon Carter. Is this the best option? And I think it'd be pretty okay. I think the bigger question is, because I think the Bulls could be interested in doing something like this. The bigger question is, will the Clippers do this? Because Zubac is like a very big part of them right now, and I don't know if they want to sacrifice him for a center that's not very good defensively. And then they're also giving up Tucker, who I guess is just kind of replaced by Torrey Craig, so it's not that big of a deal. And then you get Javon Carter. Is that worth it for Zubac though? Not too sure, honestly. They get better 3-point shooting and depth for Zubac, basically. Zubac's pretty young, on 26 only. I was thinking of keeping him. Oh, you actually want to keep Zubac around. Okay. Okay, so let me think about it that way. So for the Bulls, if you're looking to just keep Zubac, then yeah, I think you obviously do this trade then. When you say though that the Clippers, you think they get more depth, I don't really know how true that is. Okay. I'm trying to imagine Javon Carter's role on this squad, because you got Norman Powell and Terrence Mann kind of like or actually I think Westbrook's now coming off the bench, right? So would Carter be able to even play with this squad, because you got Westbrook, Powell, and Terrence Mann kind of all ahead of him? And then you have to deal with the wings of Harden, George, Leonard. This is a tough one for me. I think the Bulls say yes. I think the Clippers might just say no. Actually, hold on. I'm actually interested in this, the overall minutes per game that these players are getting. Because like I'm actually trying to wonder, is like, are they actually using PJ Tucker like a ton? I would think so, right? No, actually they're not. They're really not using PJ Tucker. Okay, so that actually, all right. That now I think that it's more of a possibility. My only thing is, like I said earlier, are they willing to give up Zubac's defense for Vucevic's offense? That's the big question. And because of adding James Harden and their, they got worse defensively with that, I don't really know if they'd be willing to do it. It is a good thought though, because you're right, it does add more depth. I do agree with you that it does add more rotation pieces for Ty Lue to kind of figure out. Clippers right now, they're 7th overall in defensive rating. So maybe they'd be willing to do it. Yeah. Definitely keep this in mind, Noel. Keep it in mind, because this could happen, especially if the Clippers continue to suck. Yeah. no Stacey, but he says stuff to he just says stuff to say. Yeah, I mean, bro, Stacey King with his overall analysis, it's interesting. I'll just end there. Zubac only getting 25 minutes as well. That is true, because the reason why Zubac doesn't get as many minutes is because the Clippers like to run that small ball lineup out there. They really like to go small, and just kind of have like 5 wings out there, or like four wings and a guard, right? So yeah, I think that this is actually a pretty realistic idea if the Clippers continue to kind of like be in like no man's land, right? Like they're 6 and 7 right now, so if they're like kind of stuck in this area of like the play-in tournament still, as the playoffs come around, or are starting to come around like in February, I could potentially see it. Yeah, I could potentially see this happening. And for the Bulls, I'll just say this, I'd be very, very happy if the Bulls got Zubac for Vooch, basically. Like, I don't think Vooch's value is anywhere near that sort of player caliber in Zubac. And then obviously you get Tucker, who I think that you could sell Tucker off. It's not going to be for a lot, obviously, because he's 38 now and will be older next year if you keep him for the rest of the year. But you could definitely sell Tucker off for something else. So you are kind of basically using Javon Carter's and Torrey Craig's kind of value to pair with Vooch's contract to get a guy like Zubac. Yeah, I think that's an absolute win for the Bulls. And then PJ Tucker, you know, you could get something else out of it, hopefully. So yeah, I don't know how exactly. So this was the deal, you said. All right, we'll save this. Actually, I forget how this would. We'll snapshot this image. I'll download this one just to keep in mind for future reference. Yeah, I like it, Noel. I like it a lot. Also, Vooch spaces the floor better as well. I do agree with that statement. The thing is, though, is that the Clippers, I don't think they really have that much issue spacing-wise. But I can also see maybe where Harden, because Harden is now there, where it could become a problem for their spacing. Because it seems like Harden's less interested in shooting right now. Oh, whoops, sorry, I hit lineups instead of players. So I could potentially see it. I just don't think the Clippers really have like a spacing issue in a sense, but it could be an issue with how some of their players play, for sure. Bulls need to trade for Nashon Highland or Jalen Ivory. Is that second one supposed to be Jaden Ivey? Unstoppable. Damn it, I just accidentally tapped out, bro. Keeper, I'm sorry, you didn't do nothing wrong. Wait, what'd you do, Calvin? Oh, I see. Yo, Calvin, did you you got rid of the timeout, right? Like he's not timed out still, right, Calvin? Like from what I see, it looks like he's fine, right? Like he isn't like banned or anything. So like in the last stream, you said Tyler here was a win now piece, or am I misremembering? No, I said that. Yeah, yeah. I think Tyler Hero is a win now piece, and it wouldn't help the Bulls try if they were actually trying to rebuild. Getting Tyler Hero doesn't really help the Bulls. Now, if they go and trade for Tyler Hero and then trade Tyler Hero for whatever value, like if they think that's more value than just straight up trading Zach, then fine. But I don't even know if we're gonna even get to this point, because it seems like the Heat don't want Zach really. But you know, we'll see where the Heat are kind of later down the road, and if Hero's health kind of puts up with it, right? Really, at 23? I mean, let's think about this for a second, right? Like Patrick Williams right now is like what, 22? Like I'm already questioning Patrick Williams and his ability to be like a rebuilding piece. Think Tyler's gonna develop some more, but like what else would he develop though, Viper Strike? Like I think we just kind of know who Tyler Hero is at this point, and Defensively, I guess that's the one area that I guess he could develop, but I don't really know where else he could really develop more. He's already, I would put him into like elite shooting category, so I don't really think he could add more to that. His defense, I mean, sure, but like I said though, it doesn't really like it unless Tyler Hero becomes a 3-level type scorer that's like at the upper echelon tier, and also then improves defensively. I don't really know what we're like if it's even worth trying to figure that part out, but like that would be the only way to justify, at least in my head. I know it said it was like 1.8 seconds and it wouldn't let me do anything about it. It just said time out though. Okay, sorry, sorry, my mod accidentally banned somebody, or sorry, they put him in timeout. I cannot put Caper back in timeout, so I'm gonna guess that he's fine. So I don't know if Caper's here though or not. So I guess that we can't really test it, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna pray to God that he isn't anything. Hi Scooby-Doo. I think you're new. I don't recognize your name. You're a Bears and Raptors fan? Okay, gotcha. So congratulations on the win, I guess. I really don't know what you really want with your team, because they're also kind of just hovering around 500 still. But congrats on the win, I guess. Louis and Siakam to Thunder, and Raptors get Chet, Jalen Williams, 5 first-round picks, and Bulls get Giddey, Jalen Williams, and 2 first. I don't know, Scooby, if I don't know if you're aware of what's been going around on social media lately, but I do not want Josh Giddey anywhere near my team right now. At least for the time being. So, investigation's happening. I'll, have a bit better opinion after the investigation, but I do not want Josh Giddey anywhere near my team. And if you think that you're going to be getting Chet or Jalen Williams for any of the things that you have to offer as the Raptors, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not getting Chet no matter what. Maybe Jalen Williams, but I don't think the Thunder would give him up either. So you want to rebuild. I mean, I'm just telling you, if Siakam's going to the Thunder, which I wouldn't mind that personally, I like to see that. You're not getting Chet. I kept having. Oh, in 30 minutes? Okay. Sorry, Caper. I don't know what to do, Caper. I've tried to click on your name and everything, but like I can't really do anything. Yeah. So sorry, Caper. Yes, you do put up 15 across the board. That is a very crazy joke to say. I'm just gonna say that, and I will not comment any further. Crazy how things change in an instant. Yeah. I mean, the previous streams I've talked about how much I think that if the Bulls traded Zach to OKC, I would want Josh Giddey, and then things come out, and now I'm saying I don't want Josh Giddey. I don't want him anywhere near my team. Scooby, are you a troll, or you actually think this sort of stuff? They said we would get Josh Giddey for the exact few days Scooby would have done in a heartbeat. Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously I would want, something else still, but if it was Josh Giddey and like a first and figure out the rest, like, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds great. But now, no, I don't want Josh Giddey anywhere near my team whatsoever, and I hope that he isn't anywhere around this Bulls organization. So yeah, I think I just want to top things over for the Thunder, but not anymore. Yeah, bro, nah. that whole thing is I think is insane. So, ugh. What's that? The fourth game in the last 2 weeks that Zach has Willis into the contest for. He's going to thrive on whatever team he goes to. I'm going to be incredibly sad. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there are some teams, if Zach goes to, it doesn't really work out too well. Like there's one team that I haven't really talked about when it comes to Zach LaVine and potential trade options, and that's been Philly, because I genuinely believe, like, I think that the Embiid and Levine combo, I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be a great team. The thing is, though, is that it seems like Tyrese Maxey is taking like a huge step forward. So, like, the Bulls, they could figure out like the money to do this sort of deal. Sorry, not Tobias Harris. I mean, does this even work financially? Okay, I guess this works financially, but like, you know, something like this, and obviously you add picks, but it honestly just kind of seems like that Philly doesn't, like, it wouldn't work out between Levine and Maxey. So I do think it kind of matters where Zach does go for him to kind of thrive, but I do think, though, that because that it won't just be on the Bulls, he'll be looking better than he is kind of looks on this Bulls team anyway. So he needs to go to Utah if it fits the history. Maybe. Yeah. I think he's gonna beat this eventually too. Like, unless there are legal ramifications, the NBA is gonna brush this off, but it will look terrible if the Bulls pick him up right now. I also think that I'm just gonna say this too. So again, I don't try to make very many assumptions when it comes to this sort of stuff, because I do think that this is like a legitimate, like, this is like a big thing. Like, this isn't something just to take lightly. And we are talking about, like, as much as this is like about, you know, a potential victim in this sort of scenario, we are also talking about potentially someone's career being in absolute jeopardy, right? So this isn't something to take lightly on either scenario. Like, yeah, there could be an actual victim here, or this could be an absolute frame job, and, you know, a career could be in jeopardy because of it. But I do think that at least what we have seen from the NBA before, this isn't going to be that big of a deal to them. But I hope that if what has been alleged, what has been, you know, accused of Josh Giddey, if it ends up being true, I do hope that the league does a really good job. Like, that's what I'm just gonna say, and they do the right thing in this whole thing. But I truly I'm in agreement with you, Viper Strike, that, like, from the Miles Bridges whole thing, the other players, I feel like, but then when it comes to then guns for John Moran, he gets a 25-game suspension. Like, it just doesn't make any sense what the standard is in the NBA. And if this ends up being true for Giddey, and then the league just kind of brushes it off, it's a very bad look. So I think it's not gonna work for him. The Fakers, Sixers, Knicks, Kings Heat all sounds great for him. The best environment, I think, is probably Miami Heat culture as a thing. Well, I think just Miami, I think it really fits the bill, but it sounds like Miami doesn't want him right now, which, again, I keep saying, like, don't take that as, like, they won't want him in 2 months. I think that the Heat could want Zach in 2 months. They just don't want him right now because they can't really trade players right now. But yeah, I do think that Zach would thrive in a lot of scenarios, but I just don't think the Sixers would be the best thing overall. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong about the whole thing. Yeah, I'm aware of Giddey's shooting percentage and all the jokes. She probably lied about her age. I don't take those things lightly, so I'm not gonna make any assumptions. I don't know how bad Vooch has been recently. Talked about a frame job dude is tanking his value more than Zach, and he wasn't very valuable in the first place. No, you're right, Viper Strike. I don't know what it is with Bulls fans and their protection of Vooch. It seems like you either the Bulls Nation is either we hate Vooch completely, or we think Vooch is like the best player out of the big three or the mid three, right? Like it's no in between, and I honestly it bothers the absolute crap out of me, because I don't know if you were here, Viper Strike, but I pulled up this whole tweet and explained what the two sides of Bulls Nation, right? Because this whole thing, this whole play of this Vooch post up, okay, just to watch it once again, this is a terrible play. Like, I don't care what people say, but posting up Nikola Vucevic is a stupid idea. It doesn't do anything, and I explained it in this tweet. There are people who say that the post up itself is the issue, which is me and a lot of other people on Bulls Twitter. But then there's also the people that say that the lack of off-ball movement is the issue, which is like, bro, let's just be real. The issue is the post up. Like, I don't care what you have to say, but the post up itself, especially for a dude who averages only 0.76 points per possession in the post, is the problem. That's the problem. It's not the lack of off. Like, yeah, I get the lack of off-ball movement's bad, but at the same time, where are they supposed to go? Like, I don't really know. It just, Vooch has played disgustingly bad. He continues to post up and wants more post ups when he has been entirely awful in the post. Okay, and defensively, like, I have talked about how much I think that Vooch like gets all this like criticism about like he isn't a shot blocker, and that like positionally I think he's pretty good defensively. That's gone out the window the past week. He hasn't been one of the worst, like, just in general defenders in the NBA. And I understand a lot of it. Like, Stacey King always kind of points out that it's like the weak side needs to help out Vooch or whatever, but I don't think Vooch is doing any favors when he is not communicating whatsoever of whether it's a switch or not, or if what sort of defense that the Bulls are trying to run, and he's not even trying on some of these rebound attempts. So yeah, it's been very, very, very terrible. But you're absolutely right, Viper Strike. I wish the Bulls trade everything for number 3 pick in Patrick's draft for LaMelo. Yeah, having LaMelo would obviously be better. Obviously, he's injury prone, but he would be better. Yeah, I'm honestly probably in the camp of Vooch sucks. Bro, look, I have been very adamant about how much I don't think Vooch is that good as people say. It was very interesting to hear all the talk in the offseason, because it was all about like, oh my god, we got Vucevic on a very value type contract, and I'm just like, guys, this isn't this isn't like a value contract. That's kind of what he is. Like, he's not that good. So getting him for $18.5 million, like, sure, but he honestly probably deserves less. Like, the only team that was willing to pay Vooch that much money was probably the Bulls. So I don't know why you're really celebrating this, and I don't think he's that good. People continuously tell me that Vucevic is a top 10 center, and I've had so many conversations about this, and I'm like, no, he's not. He is not a top 10 center. I've argued consistently about, like, between him and Sabonis, him and Kristaps Porzingis, him in between Brook Lopez. Like, I'm telling you right now, I would much rather have Brook Lopez on my team over Nikola Vucevic, and I said that last year, okay? And people thought Vooch played really well last season, and I'm like, no, he has. I don't think he was really that good. And it seems like the Bulls went back to their old ways, where, like, he wasn't supposed to be posting up as much, in my opinion, this year, but we're back to posting him up. And it seems like he wants that, and I just don't get it. It's like, I don't know where Bulls fans are trying to justify how he plays and everything, because his game is bad, his post-up ability is bad, and he's flat out trying at this point, and he obviously doesn't want to be here right now, but the Bulls paid him, so he's here for now. So he will get traded, I think, eventually, but we'll see when. I don't know when it's going to be. Yeah. What's going on, MC Season? How you doing? The issues is Butterfingers too. There were amazing passes by Zach when he was standing on the rim and he looked like he wasn't expecting it. So yeah, that play too. Look, I do think, because there was also then a play where Kobe also threw a pass to Vooch, right? And Vooch, it just kind of went between his legs. Like, on both of those plays, I do think that you can make an argument that the pass was too low in a sense, but let's just pull this up actually, because the specifically for the Zach play, where Zach threw the ball to Vooch on that play you're talking about, Viper Strike, I had a big issue with how Vooch didn't seal his man. Like, watch. Like, the part that bothers me the most is, like, okay, if you're Vooch, you're trying to get position, you need to seal this dude. The fact that you had to even, like, try to work around Dennis Schroeder here, who is 6 foot, by the way, that's the problem. And so he's trying to seal his man, but he had to, like, work around Dennis Schroeder when he should be absolutely just using his size and strength to just overpower him in the first place. And so because he had to try to work around him and everything, he ends up coming up a step when Zach was basically ready to throw it for him when he's like over here, right? So the bounce pass would have been fine if Vooch just like put his back against Schroeder and said, I'm not moving. But instead, Vooch got moved by Schroeder here. Look at how much Vooch is off the floor at this moment, and the pass ends up hitting Vooch in the knees, right? And it's like that's not on Zach, in my opinion. You could argue maybe it's just a little bit too low, but I think that the initial pass for Zach was that he was expecting Vooch to like flat out seal Schroeder and for him to be like another foot away from him, but instead Vooch got shoved by Schroeder and moved up, and that's how the turnover happened. It's like it's just I don't know what. I can't defend this man. I've defended Vooch for his for defensively stuff, but when it comes to the offensive end, like since last season, I have been very adamant about how much I cannot stand watching Vooch post up, watching him shoot mid-range shots, and he doesn't look like he's interested in shooting threes this season. So it's very, very frustrating to try to defend him. And people talk about how much he's as good, such a willing passer or whatever. In this game, like, this is where I think that Vooch gets in trouble. I don't think that Vooch should be passing as much as people say he should be passing. I think he needs to go score. And he doesn't. In this game, he like passed up 2 layup opportunities to try to throw it out, and one ended up in a turnover. And I'm like, bro, I can't defend you. And I don't know what to tell the people that defend Vooch all the time. Like, there's just nothing to even be said. To be honest, we still need another 3 to 4 years to see if AK's approach of not trying to fix any of the team's problems will bear fruit. Hashtag wait for it. Hashtag continuity. Yeah, 3 to 4 years. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about that. Tornado, he was blocked because he let the ball slip and had to adjust, so he got blocked. Oh, got it. I thought you were talking about this one specifically because this was the one that people were blaming Zach a lot for, and I'm just like, I don't think this was on Zach. I think this is just up on Vooch's inability to put Dennis Schroeder down on the block. Okay, you said I think, okay, wait, I know what you're talking about. So I think that was in the 4th quarter, actually. It was this one? Was it this one? So it was this drive and then this. Was it this one, Viper Strike? You don't know the time? Yeah, this one. So there is, so in this one, I do think that I can blame Zach a little bit on this because I do think that Vooch was saying throw it up, right? You see that Vooch is like pointing up here. He wants Zach just to throw it up, and Zach dumps it off here. There is 2 seconds, so Vooch should have just caught this cleanly and just went up with it and had time. But yeah, I can see why Zach's at fault for this one more. But you're right. I mean, I think Vooch also should just be ready. Yeah. Vooch is slow to receive a pass at that speed either way. Caruso has tried passing it to Vooch in other games as well. I think a lot of the times when we've talked about this with when Vooch doesn't get the ball in the post and Stacey King is upset and a lot of fans online are upset too. A lot of the time when that happens, people are like, wow, the Bulls don't know how to throw an entry pass to the post. And I actually think the more problematic part about it is that I don't think Vooch is sealing off his man as good as he could. I think Vooch is letting his man play top side too hard, and therefore the Bulls don't want to throw it to him because it's just going to be a turnover anyway. And Vooch needs to do a better job if he actually is going to post up guys, especially guys that are smaller than him. He needs to do a better job of sealing off his man and getting good position and being open, instead of just relying on his teammates just to pass him the ball when he's not really that open and could result in a turnover. So yeah, I don't know what it is, honestly. Yet again, just another point to my whole thing. Vooch in the post is not very good. He is disgustingly terrible. I don't know what else you need to see. He is just bad. He's just straight up bad. He isn't good. And I don't know why people think that he is good. He never was good. Last season was his best year in the post, okay? And this is his best year in the post in terms of points per possession. And this was at 1.05, which is still not that great compared to 1.22, 1.13, right? But then season prior, okay? Nikola Vucevic at the post, 0.87, bad. Like, it just, he was never ever a good player in the post. He just never has been, and I don't think that's going to change. Also, that pass where he passed sent it into the first row, dude has bad hands for a modern center. You're right. You're definitely right. I know exactly what play you're talking about here. And this is one of those plays where I'm like, Vooch, just go score. Like, just I'm being dead honest here. Just go score. Like, this is the one of those plays where, so, like, we talk about this all the time. Like, so Zach gets doubled here. So Vooch then goes out into then like the 3-point shot area, which is fine. Okay. Now the thing is that he has a step on Pirtle right now. Pirtle is running back to Vooch. Okay. Vooch can just drive. All right. And the way that the Raptors play this, Pirtle's behind him. Okay. Like, Pirtle's here. So if Vooch goes all the way to the basket, there is no shot blocker here. And now I understand Pascal Siakam is here. I get it. But he's not Jakob Pirtle. Jakob Pirtle is a very good shot blocker. Pascal Siakam, I think that Vooch can take him. And I don't know what the hell happened here. Just go score. And if you're not going to get all the way to the basket, do your little floater thing that you always do all the time, okay? Which he's missed a lot of this season, unfortunately. But, like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, this was literally, Kobe was here, P. Will's here, he threw it here. Like, I don't know what Vooch is doing. It doesn't make any sense. Tomorrow was minus 31. Not worse, to be honest. But yeah, there's a lot going on right now that, like, because there's been always this talk about how Zach has always had negative net rating, which I don't, it is true, but, you know, Zach hasn't had the best plus minus ever. So this is the average plus minus for the season in terms of box score plus minus, okay? DeRozan's minus 7.7, Zach's minus 5.0. Here's the thing, though, that doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm about to show you this, okay? So, in two-player lineups, okay? Oh, actually, no. This doesn't actually work. Wait, what? Okay, I'm pulling up MK Hoops' tweet, because he had a... As much as I'm not exactly the biggest fan of MK Hoops right now, he had, like, a very, very odd tweet, or, an odd stat that was interesting to look at. But basically, here, let's look at this sort of thing. Okay, so this is according to Cleaning the Glass. When it's just DeRozan and Vooch on the court and LaVine's off the court, it's plus 10.2. When it's just LaVine and Vucevic on the court and DeRozan's off the court, it's plus 13.3. If all three of LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic are on the court, it's minus 17.3. It is terrible when all three of these guys are on the court together, and I don't know why it's really this bad. Like, it's bad. I think that these guys don't really work together in the first place, but I don't think it should be this terrible of negative 17.3. That doesn't make any sense to me. But it just shows you, it's like, okay, well, like, LaVine and DeRozan can't really share the court together for whatever reason. And DeRozan this season, okay, he has, like, there was a moment when DeRozan had, like, the worst, like, plus minus, like, in total. Like, it was so bad that it was kind of astounding to look at. Where is this sort of stuff? So I never know how to actually, like, fully find this sort of stuff, because it's also confusing to me when I look at all this. But okay, is it totals maybe? Okay, so it's total. So DeRozan this season is a negative 115 in terms of plus minus. Zach is a negative 7.5. Vucevic is a negative 78. Or sorry, negative 75 for Zach. But as we've always talked about, though, I just don't think that this is, like, a really good overall showing, because, like, I just think plus minus is never fully correct, because you look at Patrick Williams, who we all, I think, agree has not played well. He's positive 7. So Alex Caruso, who we've all been saying has had an amazing season, he's minus 10 now. So is it really the best thing to look at? Probably not. But I do think that so far this season, when DeRozan has been on the court, it hasn't looked very good. Sure. I don't think net rating is a fair stat for this team, simply because Billy doesn't have a set lineup, and sometimes he has terrible lives. I agree. Yeah. I mean, like, look, Box. Like, I'm not gonna blame a player for their good performance to say that they suddenly have ruined the franchise. I'm not gonna go out and say something like that. But I do think though that the Bulls front office was kind of tricked a little bit for sure. And yeah, we'll just end there. So yeah, this is the stuff that like tonight was. I just have to say, man, I don't know what's gonna happen with Billy, but things need to change. That's all I'm gonna say. Things really need to change because some of the stuff that we've been witnessing, I don't know what the hell is happening, honestly. No, you're right, Viper Strike. You're definitely right. The thing is, though, is that so what people tend to go look at is like, well, DeRozan had a positive net rating, in like I think it was last season specifically. Like DeRozan was positive, even though that he was leading a second unit. And then Levine was negative when he was mostly playing with the starters, right? And people always like to point to that, and that's the reason why I always say like the whole net rating thing. I just think it's stupid in the first place because like people talk about Zach never having a positive net rating. Well, he's never really been on a winning team in the first place, except for that the Lonzo Ball year, right? So the entire team was negative pretty much anyway. But the argument starts to then be like, well, DeRozan has actually produced positive minutes when Zach's been negative. I'm just like, well, either way though, it still looks it's just a stupid stat because you got players that are they have like always like positive net ratings when I'm like, well, they fit this idea. Like there are some players that fit a certain lineup that always play in that lineup. And yeah, it's just a really just back and forth like terrible argument I think people just have about it all. But yeah, in the end, I do think that plus minus is a pretty stupid stat to look at. So, yeah. No, you're right. You're right, Box. You're definitely right. You're 1000% right. Having DeRozan as a number 1 or 2 option is a stupid idea as a team. The thing is, though, is that when the Bulls signed him, I expected him to be the number 3 option. So it's like, And that was also my bad because like I expected Vooch to be better. Like I'm just being honest. I thought when the Bulls traded for Vooch, he was better. He's not. He just clearly wasn't. He was a bad player. And I understand he had those all-star years, bro, but like we haven't seen that Vooch in a minute. And I keep telling people, and people always disagree with me on this, but we talk about this all the time. Nikola Vucevic, when he was with the Orlando Magic, when he had his all-star seasons, what's the common denominator? He shot threes. He's been with the Bulls. I understand he's, not the main option anymore, but he isn't shooting many threes. Numbers speak for themselves. All right. Like I said, though, this is gonna be a short stream, but before I do end stream, I do want to ask you guys because we did something different last time. How many of you that are currently in chat right now either were here for the NBA 2K13 My Career stream or watched it via the VOD? I just want to know who has went and watched that, at least just a part of it. Like not saying you had to watch the entire thing, but at least just seen a part of that whole stream that I did with the NBA 2K13. As you can see, I just have it right here. All right, so Calvin did. Then watch because I knocked out after that. Okay, I mean, don't worry about that. Sandroka, you did? Okay. I know Noel was here because he was chatting with me throughout the entire stream. But I don't know if he's here right now. At this very moment in time. But basically though, I just want feedback. I just want to know just kind of overall thoughts on it. What can I improve with it? Like, was the sound quality okay? Like, give me your criticism, or things I did well with that sort of stream, and what I could potentially work on to do better. I just kind of want to know from your guys' perspective, and also if I should do it again. All right, thumbs up from Unstoppable. Sorry, I'm having like nasal drip right now, so I apologize for the tissues and the coughing. But yeah, I just wanna if you're not comfortable answering in chat right now, like I get it also, but I would like to just kind of hear some overall thoughts on it. It is something, it's a new territory for me. I've not done something like that before, but I'm trying new things on the channel as always. So I like hearing kind of just what my community has to say, and kind of work off of that just to hear. As I never played that 2K, so that was cool for me to see some. So Claudio's okay, gotcha. Okay, appreciate that, Calvin. Well, you're in Dallas. So yeah, I understand that. So yeah, I know you were also there, Unstoppable. I know that for sure. But yeah, so yeah, I am in Dallas. It just happened to be the team I was drafted to. So unfortunately I can't change that. I do have. God, what 2K is that specifically? So I have a 2K where I am on the Bulls. I don't know where that one is, and I'm like a 90 overall, but I can't get any higher than that for whatever reason. Like one of those like really weird things. But sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna be going off of Dallas anytime soon. Like I think that I'm gonna be sticking on that team at least for the next 3 years, because that's like my contract in the game is for 3 years. So I understand it's like, well, you're a Bull streamer and you're playing for the Dallas Mavericks. I get it, but yeah, I don't plan on leaving anytime soon from that. So, but all right, if you can't, if like you're not watching this right now on live, but you're seeing this in the VOD, I would like any sort of thing, like any sort of thing I can improve on, things I didn't do well, things I did well with that sort of stream. I also know it was late at night, so my energy wasn't that high. So I think I'm gonna do it again though, because I think it could be like a little fun thing that we do on this channel. But I can also see that if people don't want it on this specific channel, that's kind of the reason why I was saying like, hey, sorry, hey, like I can make a second channel, right, and do something like sorry, and do something like that on that channel. So yeah. Okay, well, because of my coughing fit, it is probably a good time to end stream. Sorry, oh my god, bro, I don't know what's going on. I'm having a severe nasal drip attack on me. So I did say though that it's gonna be a shorter stream anyway. Bulls obviously lost in this one. I honestly don't know when the Bulls play next, so let me go look at that right now. Okay, so Bulls play on Sunday against Brooklyn Nets next. I'm probably gonna take this day off. So sorry. Oh, whoops! I did not mean to press that. Go back. Go to the schedule here. The Bulls then play. Okay. I'm probably gonna take Sunday off. It is obviously it's a football day for a lot of people. But I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend with some family, and then I'll be back then on Tuesday, I believe, for this game. So Bulls versus Celtics. Obviously, I expect the Bulls to lose this one, so I'm not expecting too much. But I'll go ahead and see you guys basically on Tuesday next, as Bulls take on the Celtics, and I'll be streaming after this game. All right. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I know it's a short stream. Appreciate all the talk that we had. Sorry, I do have to go though. I have to go and help out some people. And help out with Valorant. So hit the like button on the stream if you're new to the channel or know people that want like this sort of content. Help get subscribers to the channel. We're almost at 930. So I would appreciate that a lot. Damn, I hope you feel alright. So nasal drip, it's crazy annoying. Yeah, I've always just had this for my entire life, so I don't know what's happening right now, but I'll be fine in probably just a few minutes, honestly. But all right, appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. All right, peace out.